Do you know where most founders and creators forget to look? My name is Nav from Grace-Led Leaders. I've spoken in 16 countries, and I have a lovely smile. We have all the founders and creators here. If we're all looking the same way, then where is the room for innovation? Where's the room for growth? Where's the room for pioneering? Where's the room for pushing the envelope and helping humanity progress and elevate to who we can really become? And so where most founders and creators forget to look is actually, hi, welcome home, my friend. Now, do you know where most founders and creators forget to look? That's what we're going to be talking about in our conversation today. But first, you might be wondering, how is this handsome man so handsome and has something intelligent to say? My name is Nav from Grace-Led Leaders. We are the funnest tribe on earth for founders and creators. And I can say that with confidence because 1, I've spoken in 16 countries, and 2, I have a lovely smile. You cheeky monkey. Anyways, so where do founders and creators often forget to look? Now, the way I learned this and why it's important is because imagine this, right? Imagine that you have all the founders and creators in the world. Whether you founded a company, you founded a project, you founded an artistry, you founded a healing modality, whatever you founded or you created, or you express yourself. It's your divinity transmuting through you, right? If you have all the founders and creators here, if we're all looking the same way, then where is the room for innovation? Where's the room for growth? Where's the room for pioneering? Where's the room for pushing the envelope and helping humanity progress and elevate to who we can really become? Now, what's interesting is, have you ever heard the saying that perception is projection? Perception is projection. Now, what this means is that oftentimes we can learn about ourselves by looking at other people. We can learn about ourselves by looking at other people, but there's a fine line and distinction, isn't there? And it is the consciousness that this is happening. Now, what does this actually mean? You see, back in the day, God gifted me this crazy but magical experience whereby speakers and founders and creators who are already doing above $1 million would come and engage in my consulting to help them scale. And I would have the privilege of helping them set up their teams, their systems, their group dynamics, their communication cadences, and really just to make sure they had a really connected organization so that this energy within the organization would ripple outside into the world. Make sense? And what really saddened me is that for so many of these founders and creators, behind the scenes, I would see things that nobody else would see. Everybody would go on their phone and see the beautiful highlight reel and all the impact they're making and the brand partnerships and the deals they were doing and the cool conferences and events they were at and where they were speaking. But I had the honor of them trusting me with their tenderness, with their sadness, with when things were not going to plan. And it's so interesting, I can hear here in the studio, if you're here with me in Bali right now, we can hear in the studio this pitter-patter, 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 this rain. And it's almost like when we were hanging out together, the cloud was loading. The cloud was getting heavier and heavier and heavier with moisture until finally, the floodgates would open. And initially, I felt privileged to be holding their heart in my hands. And then when I went home, there was also a part of me that would judge them. Be like, hey, you're this person in front of the camera, but behind the camera, who are you really? Yeah, your business is working, but when it comes to your relationship, what's going on there? And it really fumbled me. It really fumbled me because I was like, wow, what am I working for? Where am I going towards? Now, fast forward to today, I realized that I was truly seeing the parts of myself that I was not the biggest fan of. What this means is that I wasn't fully embracing where I was still a work in progress. I wasn't fully embracing where I still have room to grow, where I'm still human, where I still have a tender heart that feels sad, where, yes, I know the tools and the strategies and I teach these to people, but at the end of the day, I'm human. And so where most founders and creators forget to look is actually within. Now, how do we make this more practical so that we can use this today? And by using it, what you'll find is that obviously when the vehicle is fine-tuned, when the vehicle has gone for servicing, when the vehicle has gone on upgrades, then the journey becomes funner, the journey becomes smoother, the journey becomes faster, the journey becomes more of a delight. And if you're picking up what I'm putting down, you are the vehicle. God, creator, universe, spaghetti monster, whatever your favorite word is, mine is God. God has chosen you and instilled you on a journey to help humanity come on a journey with you to a new set of consciousness, to a new way of being, to a new earth. So let us not forget, my friend, that the vehicle is really important. And we can invest now and upgrade the vehicle, and we can connect with other pioneers, innovators who are on a similar journey, not the same journey, but a similar path. Then life becomes sweeter, doesn't it? So here are 3 questions that I've been asking myself. I am asking myself, and I'd love you to ask yourself as well, because that way we can go on this journey together. Question number 1, what's the actual question that wants to come through? I know I wrote down a question, but what's the real question? Where do I forget to thank? Where do I forget to thank? It was so beautiful. So again, you and me, we're in Bali right now. Just imagine this, right? Literally half an hour ago, I'm on the back of a motorbike. I'm being driven here to the studio. It's so beautiful. The team have like the behind the scenes footage. There are like 5 people welcoming me, and I feel like a celebrity. It's so beautiful. But on the way here, it was fascinating because as I was on the back of the motorbike, you can imagine the sound around you. Whatever that last sound was. But you can imagine this chaos. And in the chaos, my head turns to the left and I see this building. What's fascinating is I remember wearing the same shirt and recording a podcast there many moons ago. But to see the difference in the man I was then, the leader I was then, the husband to be I was then, to who I am today, it really made me think, wow, yes, I'm still on the journey. Yes, I'm still devoted, just like the other grace-led leaders. I am devoted to scaling our sales and scaling our souls. I'm still on the path, but a completely different chapter, phase of that path. Same shirt, recording a podcast, same passion, different season. And so I invite you, my friend, where can you honor your journey more? Where can you honor your journey more? Because I remember, it was just a couple of days ago, I had arrived back in Bali. I had been in India for a month. First, I did Ayurveda, which is the plant-based traditional medicine of India, for 3 weeks. So every day there was a massage. There was like really beautiful, like nourishing food. There were only 10 people in this sanctuary, so it was really intimate. You can imagine like the nature. There were foxes, a couple of peacocks, there were cows, and it was a real villagey vibe. Like I got into an airport, you had to drive 3.5 hours, and then you got into this place, and it was really quite divine. Now, I had done that And then I had gone to Satguru's ashram. If you've come across Satguru, his main ashram is in Coimbatore in India. I went to visit that. And then I went to visit my cousins in Mumbai, and we had an amazing New Year's Eve together. And what's fascinating is, if I look back at that man who got off the flight from Bali to India, I think there was a transit, but you know what I mean. Bali, Singapore, India, that man, like, wow, how much he's grown, how much his skin is glowing. People are giving me so much beautiful feedback, how much more aligned he feels and focused and calm in his body. And so when I'm able to thank God and thank grace, which, by the way, is the love of a higher power, can you see how giddy I feel? Can you see how this is the smile when like a lover gets you a rose, or surprises you with a bouquet of flowers, or returns your text, or sends you like a surprise text saying, "Hey, I'm thinking about you, love you so much." This is the feeling, isn't it? And so, question number one for you, my friend, as we go in this connection journey together, is number one: where can you honor your journey more? Where can you honor your journey more? Just so you know, that isn't a dramatic pause. It's space for you to reflect now. Where can you honor your journey more? All right, question number two. So question number one is, where can I honor my journey more? Question number two is really, what? No. Where? No. Why? No. Who? Who does my heart mean? Question number two is, who does your heart yearn to become? Who does your heart yearn to become? Last night, I was sitting in my bedroom here in Bali. I stayed with some friends when I'm here. They're beautiful. They have like 2 kids. The kids just got back yesterday. A beautiful couple. They travel 4 months of the years. Authors, speakers, the whole shebang. They live like on this rice paddy, and then there's like a pool, and they stay in this house, and I stay in this guest house, and then there's a like a sports club nearby where people play paddle. It's kind of like the golf clubs of Bali. It's really fascinating. You can feel the playness there. Anyways, what I'm saying is, well, I'm staying with these people, right? And yesterday in my bedroom, I'm like, okay, you know what? How do I grow this community faster? How do I, invite more aligned people? And now, let's just be straight. How do I grow this community faster? And I see myself going back to my old ways that really worked, because I've created communities for the last decade, 2015. So, oh yeah, I'm recording this now in 2025, so a decade ago. You get it. So I've been building community for a decade now, right? And it's worked. I had a community of 700 young entrepreneurs at one point. I spoken in 16 countries. I ran a volunteering community, and done it in a bunch of different industries, right? I used to mentor other speakers. That was fun. Anyways, I used to be a guitar teacher. Sorry for another time. And what I found is that the way I got those results served me at the time, but didn't inspire me in this season. So I was like, you know what if I voice message 100 people, or I personally send a video to 50 people, or something like that? And even just me saying this right now, my shoulders are getting tired. I can feel my heart is closing in, right? And so the question to flip that was, before I tell you the question, here's the tricky part. So I was excited. I felt my adrenaline building. I felt a sense of activation within me. And I was like, I can do this. Let's make it happen. Yeah. Content. But within 26 minutes, the layer of euphoria had started to dissipate, and the reluctance for exhaustion started to come in. Because have you ever felt like this? Like, have you ever felt that you started out your project, you started out your creation, the thing you founded, the thing that you birthed, and there was this spark, right? There was this excitement, there was this aliveness, there was this spring in your step. But somehow along the way, you've had amazing success and people actually look up to you, whether you like to admit it or not, whether you're humble or modest or whatever you might be, right? You know that secretly deep down, people look up to you. They admire you. Sometimes they express it. Sometimes you can just feel it in the way they look at you. Sometimes they ask you for advice. Sometimes they actually tell you, thank you so much. You inspired me. And so what I found in my journey, and when I'm supporting other founders and creators, is that I was at a Tony Robbins seminar in Florida a couple of years ago before speaking in Florida as well. And they talked about satiation. Satiation is, you can have the most delicious ice cream, but if you eat too much of that ice cream, you're going to get bleh, right? And what's interesting for me right now is previously my favorite flavor of ice cream was cookies and cream, specifically Oreo McFlurry. Now, I know, yes, I take care of my body. Yes, I do all the organic stuff and all that jazz, but Oreo McFlurries always have a special place in my heart. If you're an M&M McFlurry person, I don't think we can talk anymore. Or that even weirder like caramel one, right? Sorry, not sorry. Anyways, so I used to be an Oreo McFlurry person, but now I really like matcha. There's this one Japanese place in Australia that serves like this matcha soft serve. So like, you lick it. And previously I used to be a bowl ice cream person. Are you a bowl ice cream or a cone person? This is a great question. Cup, they call it a cup, right? Cup or cone. I used to be a cup person, now I'm a cone. 2 matchas, 1 cone. So yeah, just like your relationship with ice creams, your relationship with who you are evolves. Who you are to yourself, who you are in your creativity, who you are in your ventures, who you are in your projects, who you are in your expression, who you are in your expression. And so what I realized last night in the bedroom, I was like, you know what, this willful energy, this, if it is to be, it's up to me, you got to work hard to get results. The more you work, the more you get, that kind of thing. I was like, my heart is closing to that. Instead, my heart is like, hey, how can we, is how the right question? No. My heart is simply yearning to be in more grace and to be in more flow and to be with more ease. Now, this is challenging, right? Because you know what works, but now you're more aware of the cost. Different season, different flavor. Different season, different flavor. And so coming back to you, my friend, let's ask ourselves, who does your heart yearn to be in this season? Who does your heart yearn to be in this season? When we're looking at this question in more detail, if you want to, if you already get the essence, the rasa, you can join me for the next episode of the conversation. Episode's a weird name. But what I'm saying is, who does your heart yearn to be in this season? Okay, so question number 1 is, where can you honor your journey more? Question number 2 is, who does your heart yearn to be in this season? And I specifically use the word heart because heart is connected to a feeling, meaning what is the feeling you want to bathe in when you are showering the world with your gifts? What is the energy and emotion you want to bathe in when you are showering the world with your gifts? And finally, is there even a third question anymore? No. I feel like with the in the moment real-time refinement of those 2 questions, again, those 2 questions have been upgraded since I wrote down the initial questions about an hour ago. But I feel like those 2 questions are enough because it isn't always about doing more, is it? So I'd love to know, and you can hear the rain maybe in the studio. Rain's down in Africa. Da, 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 da. Except we're in Bali. We are in Bali today. So what I was going to say is, I feel like the natural completion of this conversation is upon us. Where did you end up with those two questions? Question number one, where can you honor your journey more? And question number two, who is your heart yearning to be in the season? Because imagine what your life could be like if you led from grace. Thank you. Like, comment, and subscribe.